Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Can we talk with Monique? I am Monique. Thank you so much for joining me. Please do me a favor and like and subscribe. Share this video with people you think might be interested and hit that little bell so you are made aware of my uploads. And guys, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Like this video. This lets YouTube know that you're interested in what I have to say. Okay, so I know I've been away, but I'm going to keep them coming, guys. This video and podcast is how to know if you're in a relationship or a situationship with a narcissist or toxic person. Now, why I say situationship, when you're involved with a person who's toxic or a narcissist, it's not a relationship. A relationship is a give and take situation. When you're in what you think is a relationship, it's really a situationship with those people, right? And so a lot of us who are maybe in different stages of recovery, we might be in different phases, still in, just learning, or out of a relationship and just learning, or out of it for some years, and we're just learning about what and discovering what we encountered, like what the heck did I just go through. And so for all of us, we're at different stages of recovery and learning. And so for all new subscribers, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm glad that you are here and able to listen to this today. And hopefully it's with my hopes that this is going to help you on your journey to recovery, freedom, and your escape from these entities. And if you've not listened to my channel before, you understand that I do refer to narcissists and those with that Jezebel spirit as entities, because some of their behaviors and their actions to me are subhuman, not human-like. So I'll refer to them as entities. So let's get started. So guys, as for me, I am no contact with a lot of the people who are narcissists and toxic, right? And so a lot of us who have been, and let me just preface this by saying, a lot of what has happened to us is not our fault. A lot of us have been so trauma bonded and so conditioned to this behavior and so conditioned to being mistreated and abused that we tolerated this for so long. Any other relationships we formulated became probably toxic and abusive as well, because we were regimented and we were almost like brainwashed to accept that behavior, right? And it's not funny, it's sad. A lot of us were groomed, that's the word I was looking for, groomed to accept the mistreatment and abuse, because that's exactly what it is, guys. We need to call these things what they are: abuse, right? Narcissistic personality disorder and the things that they do, the manipulation, the flying monkeys, the verbal abuse, some people is physical abuse. It is all abuse, and it's traumatizing, right? And so a lot of us have been conditioned and groomed to accept this behavior. And then when we look back, we realize that friends, so-called friends, family members, co-workers, boyfriend and girlfriends, that they were also toxic or narcissist or was somewhere on that spectrum, right? We end up realizing we were surrounded by them. And that's what happened to me. I realized that a lot of the individuals, not only within my family, but also relationships that I have formulated over the years, they were toxic. These individuals were somewhere on that spectrum, somewhere from the lower level narcissist to, high functioning, to some that I really do think are psychopathics, have sociopathy. And some of them I think may have been on the crazy spectrum of really having psychopathy, right? And so that's unfortunate. But as I've learned and grown over the years, over the past 3 years, and it's been a healing journey, I've learned there are certain things that can be red flags and can help you to understand if this is a person that's toxic or on that narcissism spectrum. And this has come from experience, right? Because as time goes on, we start to see, oh, wait a minute, that's their, this is something that I'm not going to accept. We start to realize who may or may not be toxic, and we can go no contact and just not formulate relationships with them and not get enmeshed. Because the danger with being involved with people on that spectrum is when we get enmeshed with them. If we just meet them, recognize that they're toxic, leave them alone, they can't do as much damage. See, when you get into a relationship with them and you're in bed with them, so to speak, or, they're close friends with you, this is how they do damage. They really, if they don't know you or you don't get intertwined and enmeshed with them, then you avoid a lot of issues. It's only when you get enmeshed with these individuals that you end up having problems. So they're all over the place, guys. These narcissists are everywhere, from every echelon, from the upper to the lower. I mean, they are everywhere. They're flying around, and that's why, I'm back with it, stronger and better than before, and bringing you the 411 as to what's going on, not only as it relates to narcissistic abuse and awareness, but also it will healing. So like I said, we're going to bring the fire and the heat to these narcs, and what I mean by that is to put pressure on them, because they're learning, they're growing every day. They're posing as victims and survivors. What else? And when I say bring the heat, it's just to keep the pressure on them and keep educating people. The more people understand and are aware, and that the veil is lifted from their eyes, the less damage that these Jezebel spirits can do, right? And then we're going to actually, after we bring the heat, with the information, we're going to bring the healing. So we need to heal all of us who have been survivors or encountered these entities. We need to heal. So we're going to bring the heat. I'm going to bring the heat on these narcs, keep bringing it. But also my platform and my goal is to help healing and recovery, right? Because it does take time to recover from this, because as you look back, if you've been in any relationship for them, 1 month is too long. And some people have been in relationships for years and decades. So 1 month can turn your mind around to the where you like, what? And imagine being in a relationship with someone for decades or years. It's a serious mind F. I can't say the word, right? And I don't like to curse, but that's the only thing. And I guess I shouldn't say the only thing, but that's the thing that comes to mind. It's really, these people really mess with your soul, your mind, your spirit. These are demonic entities. Those are stories for other days. I'm a believer, and that's what I believe, right? And a lot of us have soul ties, and we're trauma bonded. Okay. And then we have these soul ties and these soul binds with these individuals. And we have to figure out how to get rid of them and to get away from them. And it's not that easy. But it's doable, if you want to, because it's either you submit your soul to these people and be miserable and die while these blood sucking barnacles suck the life out of you, or you take your life back and pray to the Most High. And if you're not a believer, just stick with me. For those who are, you pray to the Most High for the strength to break those soul ties and those bonds and those trauma bonds. So not only have we been soul tied to those people who we've been in relationships with, but we've been trauma bonded from the cycle of abuse, right? We kind of resonate with our abuser, and we just kind of allow them to continue to do what they do. But, maybe he's, not feeling well, or maybe she's just, we make excuses. So we're bonded. So a bond is something that you can't break that easily. So when you're soul tied, you are literally tied. So you got to untie yourself and unmesh yourself. That's why I said, if you don't get intermingled and unmeshed, and mesh with these people, that's the best way we want to deal with these individuals, is not getting too close to them or enmeshed with them. But a tie is something that has to be untied, right? In order to get away from something you're tied to, you have to untie it. And there's things that you have to do to untie it. And that's why one of the biggest things that they tell you, I know I'm going on a tangent, is no contact. Because no contact and not being in relation with them, not talking to them, not seeing them, you are able to think and see of all the stuff that has happened. And you're able to get away from that negative energy, that force, that toxicity. Because guys, as a nurse, toxic people, a narcissist is a toxic person, but a toxic person is not always a narcissist. So toxic people, if you give somebody something that's toxic in the medical field, it starts to move through your body. So we usually want to give an antidote or take away whatever is causing the toxicity. If you're in a relationship with a toxic person, the only way, because they start to poison you, your soul, your mind, your spirit. If you don't get away from that or remove yourself from the poison, you will be poisoned. Point blank, period. There's no other way to say it. That's why they call them toxic people, because they spoil all the goodness and joy and the beauty that you have in your life, because they don't know anything else, right? That's all they know how to do. Okay. And it's a real shit show. I hate to say it, but it's really what it is. It's horrible. But if you can make it out and free yourself with the Most High, oh my gosh, you will see your life from a different perspective, and you'll be so much more thankful. This is doable, guys. And again, it's not your fault, but it's abuse. That's what it is, right? And so with this channel, I am going to definitely be here to help and assist you guys, help coach you guys through some of this trauma and stress, because it's very stressful being around these people. You can't really think straight. And that's what this platform is for. I've seen, I'm going to also on Patreon give you guys screenshots. There's some YouTubers who are posing as narcissistic coaches, and they're posing as people that are survivors. And there's one young lady on this YouTube, and I knew last year that there was an issue and something didn't sit right with my spirit. And I have some screenshots of some things that this young lady has posted, and she's just unraveling as the days go by. I've unsubscribed to her, but she keeps coming up in my it keeps coming up in my feed, and I'll just press on, and I'm like, Lord, it's just getting worse and worse and worse. She's becoming very abusive. I watched a feed today, and it's very abusive. And I don't want to name the person, but I just want to show you guys screenshots. So those people who are just coming out or learning what this abuse is, so you can recognize it, because some of that behavior can trigger people, and it can have them regress and not make the progress they need to get out of these relationships. So it's really dangerous. You got to be careful who you feed your mind with, who you're feeding your spirit with. If these people are being abusive and obnoxious, then you need to unsubscribe for them, seriously, because this is rampant. These people are all over the place. I mean, this young lady was going on and on about people not coming up to her in public and saying hi to her, and that she's upset about that. It's like, huh? Seriously? Like, this is how narcissistic and toxic these people are. You know, why fans are not coming to speak and say hello. I can't make this stuff up. Okay. And if people don't recognize this is toxic behavior, yet they're on the platform, and they're the dangerous part, they're coaching people. And people are listening to this. Guys, be careful who you listen to, because everybody out here is not for you. Some of these people have mental illnesses and have problems, and that are gone unresolved. And they get on YouTube as a platform, and they spew their venom. And I've watched the mask slip many times. I've watched this person metamorph into the real narcissist that she is. And it's horrible. It's almost frightening, but this is what it is. But they do their mask slips, and they get so comfortable with doing what they'll do. They will dig a hole for themselves. Trust and believe. They will dig a hole for themselves. I'm watching it before my eyes. So some of this I'm going to put on my Patreon page, so you guys can know what you're looking at, and how diabolical. You know, you can watch this person's channel from last year to now and watch them metamorph. They morphed into, they learned the lingo, they learned the language, they learned the eye contact to make you really believe, and now they're just venomous, and they're just letting it all hang out. They don't even care. You know, some of the stuff they're saying, some of the posts are so toxic, it's not even funny. I'm like, wow, do people see this? And I'm hoping people are seeing this. But like I said, I have some screenshots that don't have the person's name or channel, but just to show you how manipulative they are. So that's some of the stuff I'm going to do on Patreon, just to give you guys examples, real life examples of what's going on in my life, what I've encountered and seen. And, things to beware, because, the internet is the narcissist playground. This is what they love. They can, they can get attention, right? They can get attention. They can hide behind a computer. They can bully people. This person is starting to bully people and manipulate people and just be really nasty. And I watched them. They have this passive aggressive. You know how sometimes we learn these terms, but I clearly, like today in the last upload, just a passive aggressive behavior. Well, I'm not famous, but those people who don't see me and know who I am and don't say anything to me in public, they're haters. Sometimes people don't. I've seen celebrities in public and you don't want to bother people. You don't know what they're going through. That doesn't mean I'm a hater. It just means I'm respectful and I don't want to enlarge on your boundaries. But this is the type of stuff that's going on, guys. Stay woke on YouTube, especially on YouTube streets, and mind what you feed your mind and soul. If it doesn't have to feel good, but it has to, if it's not feeding your spirit and uplifting you, then I would say leave it alone. So one way I've learned to know this goes in line with boundaries if you're dealing with a toxic or a narcissist is to say no. If you tell a person no and what their response is. Now you might say, well, Monique, why do you say that? Well, a normal person would respond to someone saying no by, and you see the word no here. A normal person would respond to someone saying no by saying, well, they said no. They can accept it. The person saying no. They said no for a reason, and, that's fine, and you go on with your life. Well, a narcissist or toxic person are going to do one or two or three things. The narcissist is going to be upset. They're not going to take it well. The covert narcissist may act like they're not mad or upset, but they ghost you and then don't want to speak to you, or are real standoffish after you said no, when you guys been having a great relationship, nothing has happened, but you have a boundary and you just simply said, no, I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not going to give you this. No, I don't have the money to give you, whatever the case may be. Or they may become violent or belligerent and be like, and just become angry, right before your face. Or they may question you, well, why not? I'm only going to give it to you, and da-da-da-da-da, and da-da-da-da. Those reactions are the response of a toxic person. If they become belligerent and angry, if they become standoffish and angry and they ghost you, or if they start to question you and ask you questions as to why you're not telling them yes, or why are you telling them no. So we have to understand, so you see this word no, they hate it. They don't like, because it's a boundary. So you see, narcissists are very underneath all of the big bad person. They're very immature and childish. So they have like a stunted growth, and some of them may be stopped and stunted in a certain developmental stage, and some of them that's in their maybe 7, 8, 10-year-old. Some of their development is stunted in their childhood stages. So they're like little babies. So you see this little baby crying here, you tell them no, that's a narcissist. That's what they'll do. That's how they feel inside. And if you tell them no, it's almost like a narcissistic injury. So they get mad at you and you don't even know why, but it's because you may have told them no. And they take it personally, but they don't like boundaries. They don't like when you institute a boundary. So if this is a good way to avoid a narcissist, guys, is by saying no to someone. You can do it as a test. I wouldn't recommend doing it. Or if a situation came up where you said no. But if you're in your mind thinking this person is toxic and a narcissist, say no and watch their behavior. And a normal person who has emotions, feelings, you respects boundaries, respects you as a person, will say, okay, well, maybe we could do this another time. Well, thank you. You can't give me the $20. I'm going to see if I can get it from my grandmother or whatever. That's what a normal person would do. A narcissist or a toxic person won't. So that's one sure way. I'm not saying 100% of the time, but I would say the majority of the time, because it's a boundary, and they don't like boundaries. And one of the things that they do to test you to see if you're a good prey for them and a good source of supply is they'll always test your boundaries. So what may happen is you tell them no and you stand firm on several different things. They may just go away and ghost you. And don't consider that ghosting a negative. Like, why they don't that, consider it a blessing. You may have dodged a huge bullet. Someone that can't take you telling them no, you may have dodged a bullet that may have saved your life for real. So I'm not saying that this is the case all the time, but majority of the time, from what I understand and what I've seen, this is a boundary. They always test you. What I call is the doo-doo test. They always try to do something, and this usually results in somebody crossing your boundary to where it just doesn't feel good to you, right? So they're always going to try something very early on to test you, and that's usually crossing a boundary, right? It's usually what it is. So if you start saying no to people, this is how you prevent yourself from becoming entangled and enmeshed with these toxic, demonic entities. And like I said, I can't say it's worked for me. Like my son says, no is a complete sentence. And it's definitely a boundary with these people. They don't like a child. They do not like you telling them no. That's like kryptonite to them. That'll make them fall on the floor. Who was that who hated kryptonite? Was that Superman? It's like no is kryptonite to the narcissist, child. Y'all don't even understand. They can't stand you telling no. I remember one of the narcissists in my life. Oh, so you told me no. You told me no. You told me no. You told me no. And they would get a stank attitude, just nasty. And then I wouldn't understand why the next time they would be so upset, because they were still fuming and acting a fool because I told them no. But I have a lot of good examples. I'm going to start posting on Patreon next week. You can come and join for a membership, because we want to stay here on YouTube, but you can't discuss certain things, especially if you start. And some things, I think, with YouTube and talking about narcissistic personality disorder, you have to talk about the tough stuff, right? You got to talk about the things that occur that really made you move in a direction away from yourself, all that you gave up, and they're very serious topics, but you can't discuss them on YouTube because they'll flag it. And when it's sexual in nature, that type of thing. So you can't discuss it. So on Patreon, I don't want to get explicit, but we got to, to educate people, you got to teach them. And we can't sugarcoat some of the things these narcissists try. This some of the things that they do to erode your boundaries and to erode your self-esteem and your being, whatever self-esteem and self-worth you have. They try to erode that. So we have to, look at these things and be able to recognize them on point. And some of these people are so cunning. How they get you to do some of this stuff is because you may need them, and they come to your rescue as the hero, and then you find yourself doing things that you would never normally do, but you feel like you owe them. This is what they do, guys. But I want to get specific into those things and give you specifics as to what occurred with me. And it's not to tell my business, because I really don't care. This is education for me. This is what I'm called here to do. Too much is given, much is expected. So I'm not going to tell you the names of the people, but I'm going to tell you what some of these jokers have done. And then I'm going to tell you what I had to do to get myself right, because I had some issues too. Why was I letting these people treat me in that way and allowing myself to be mistreated, right? So sometimes we got to look at not sometimes, we always, in these relationships, we always have to look back at ourselves. Why did we think that it was okay to allow a beautiful being such as ourselves that the Most High has created? A lot of us are women, and there's some men out there who are being abused by some of these funky dunky women, and women were being abused by some of these funky dunky men, right? Why are we allowing ourselves to be abused and manipulated and mistreated and all of the above by these people, right? So I don't know who all my viewers are, but I would think majority women and then some men. And so for the men out there, for the kings and for the queens, we have to just, get it cracking for 2020. We ain't got no time to be, in these cycles of abuse with these people, because these people will have you hemmed up for years. If they could keep coming back and causing a ruckus in your life and running amok in your life, they will do that. As long as you allow them to, they will. They'll have the source of supply. And especially if you're a good source of supply, they will keep trying to reach back. I got to tell you guys about the Hoovers. I got to tell you guys about the other people, not only the YouTube I'm watching unravel before my eyes. I see people unraveling and doing, the ones that I'm no contact with, they don't have me as a source of supply, so they going and doing other illegal, crazy things. And I'm like, and learning about the lies that these people have told. These people are pathological liars. You'd be surprised some of the stuff they do and some of the stuff that they've said about you. You'd be absolutely surprised. And then see, what happens is I prayed to the Most High and I said, Lord, reveal it to me. Reveal it to me. I want you to reveal these things to me. You better be ready, because when the stuff gets revealed to you, be like, what? And you don't have nothing to do with it. You're just minding your business, no contact, and the information will get to you, and you be like, all along. And then you'll learn about all the lies they told, the lies they tell. I'm telling you. So this is an educational experience. We're going to learn. We're going to put fire to these folks, because we're not going to let them keep doing what they're doing. Okay, they are rampant. They are everywhere in every phase of society. Healthcare, lawyers, doctors, presidents of the United States, cooks, sons, daughters, lovers, partners, husbands, wives, sisters, brothers. They are everywhere. Don't you understand? Everywhere. So we got to know how to deal with it. But tell them folks, no. I don't want to deal with anybody if I tell you, no, you can't accept what I say. If you can accept that, and that is something that's a part of me and I feel strongly about, I don't want nothing to do with you. Right? So if we start cutting off those people like that, you'll be more apt not to end up enmeshed and deeply involved with these people wreaking havoc on your life. Because some of you guys out there, like myself, some of you guys may have been in a relationship with 8 months with a narcissist, and some 3 decades. And from 8 months to 3 decades, it's almost like a hurricane in your life. It's nothing good. They tear stuff up like the Tasmanian devil. Especially if you're trying to build something. These folks do not, let me tell y'all something. These folks don't get with people that they know can't benefit them in some way. You have a good spirit. You have a good nature. That's who they look and latch on to, because they have nothing good going on for them. Nothing. They might be powerful. They may have money, but they have no soul. They need you. Okay? They need somebody to manipulate. So anyway, I'll go off on a tangent. As y'all can see, I'm passionate about this, because when you're going through something like this, you just want to put the word out, and you want people to know that these things are occurring and that this is a situation that you can overcome. Okay, and even if you're not a believer, stick with me, because on Patreon, I'm gonna give y'all the business with this information. You know what I'm saying? It's opening up myself, but who cares? I ain't got nothing to hide. All of the things that have gone on with narcissistic abuse, and a lot of abusers who are physically violent are narcissists. Okay, a majority of them are, because they have to control and manipulate you in some sort of way. You see, so if you're listening to this, like and subscribe and share. When you see this Can We Talk screen come up, no, I'm about to bring the fire and the heat. It's going to be good. I'm going to give you the details. And some people, especially on YouTube, they want the juicy details. But I think with this situation and with this disorder, okay, let's keep it 100% funky. I don't believe it's a disorder. That's what the books say. I believe it's a demonic entity. It's a spiritual thing with these individuals. But those are stories for other days. Now, that's what my belief is. Okay. But for us to go forward, we just need to go ahead on, like and subscribe. let other people know about this so that way they can, get this information. But like I said, I'm going to take it deep. I'm going to give y'all the info. I'm going to give y'all the business. I am definitely going to give y'all the detail. That's what people want. That's why people watch these gossip bloggers, because they want the details, the salaciousness. I don't have nothing salacious to tell you, but I got information and some juicy stories to tell y'all that y'all be like, what? And then you be like, and then y'all will probably be like, well, I've been through that too. I mean, I've been in relationships with these people from the time I was born. So I got some stories to tell. And then ended up in relationships with them, intimate relationships. And then had people I thought were my friends in relationships. Oh, yes. And then co-workers. I had attracted them all. But one day I got on my hands and knees and prayed to the Most High and said, Lord, help me to see how the common denominator was me. And I had to learn in a praying posture to look up to the heavens. Now, for y'all don't believe, just keep on listening though, because I want y'all to get the information. And I had to be stripped bare and so exposed and so vulnerable to come to learn to know who Monique truly was and who the Most High sent me here to be. This being that came here for a purpose and destiny. And those entities come to destroy who you are truly supposed to be, a shining, beautiful light, probably somewhere here to help and guide people, but they come to destroy your destiny and purpose. And I'm here today to say, we ain't trying to hear that for 2020. We about to take our lives back, take our souls back, kick these narcissists to the daggone curb, call them out for what they really are. And when we see them come and be like, nah, boo, I'm not trying to hear that. No. Keep on walking. So with that being said, like and subscribe. Please subscribe. I'm telling you, it's going to get good. It's going to get juicy. Like and subscribe. And I'm going to go set up my Patreon account so we can come on over there. I'll leave a little blurb on YouTube, but the other, detailed information I'll leave on Patreon. So like, subscribe, share, and thank you so much. And like I always say, you have one life. Own your life. Peace.